swear I know the lie. I dream about you all the time. But girl, you blow my mind, and I know fit tonight. Girl, you do me bad. Ogechi, Ogechi, come on. Pretty in your love is all I do for the living. I tempted to touch your foreign booty. If I kill him all, still the love I got. Fitting full of love for back. Oh baby, this love is real. I give you all my brother, my vision. Don't love like a man. Boy, I got shine. May you forgot that, baby, I know say you like her. Mani magali, let her dollar. But around to make us spray you on my dollar now. Parade for my body, yeah. Chop my granoto, make it burn my picking. Ogechi, come on. Come on. I need your love, I need your love, I need your love, I need your love. Ogechi, come on. I need your love from me. I'm from Genyeki, Obi Moi, Mani Maka. Ogechi, come on. I need your love from me. I'm from Genyeki, Obi Moi, Mani Maka.
Channel Africa and you have got something in common. The thirst for knowledge.
Kambanda, teleso kachitalo kupika wapi kohita yombo we. Chalu mingunda lale ko kambanda, teleso kachitalo kupika wapi kohita yombo we. Chalu mingunda lale ko kambanda, teleso kachitalo kupika wapi kohita yombo we. Chalu mingunda lale ko kambanda, teleso kachitalo kupika wapi kohita yombo we. Teleso kachitalo kupika wapi kohita yombo we. Chalu mingunda lale ko kambanda, teleso kachitalo kupika wapi kohita yombo we. Chalu mingunda lale ko kambanda, teleso kachitalo kupika wapi kohita yombo we. Chalu mingunda lale ko kambanda, teleso kachitalo kupika wapi kohita yombo we.
Teleza Some groovy music to kickstart your morning. It is 6:23 Central African Time, and the SABC is pleased to announce the launch of the new self-registration platform. Vendors wishing to do business with the SABC can self-register on our internally developed platform. Vendors are able to access this platform on our website on www.sabc.co.za/SABC/ under e-tenders, or self-register at etender.sabc.co.za and follow the prompts. Visit SABC social media pages for more details.
She builds, she leads, she rises. This August, join Channel Africa in celebrating the women who shape our communities, shift narratives, and carve out a future on their own terms.
These women together ought to be able to turn it right again.
From Cape Town to Kigali, Lagos to Lusaka, African women are rewriting the script. Here's to courage, creativity, and unstoppable progress. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Start your day right with Channel Africa Breakfast.
That smells delicious.
Live, 5 days a week.
Ulisengwa kutipari kwa Nairobi Rama, ulisengwa kutipari kwa Nairobi Rama, ulisengwa kutipari kwa Nairobi Rama, ulisengwa kutipari kwa Nairobi Rama. Kanyililigambe ninegudenga zango, kanyililigambe ninegudenga zango. Oh, I know. Ngazango, kanyililigambe, ninegule ngazango, oh, I know. Kani mahungu nyali halazo, gumiza kupasiansia, mahungu nyali halazo, gumiza kupasiansia, nago hamba, banu nyago hamba guono, nyamba hamba, banu nyago nunga. Mahungu nyali hawazo, guviza kupasiansia. Kani mahungu nyali hawazo, guviza kupasiansia. Nyago hamba, banu nyago hamba kuono. Nyamba hamba, banu nyago nunga. Unatilaya, ngazango. Unganyitia nyeka, unatilaya, ngazango. Unganyitia nyeka, ulisengwa, kusipari, Nairobi. Rama, ulisengwa kutipari kwa Nairobi. Rama, ulisengwa kutipari kwa Nairobi. Rama, ulisengwa kutipari kwa Nairobi. Rama, 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 rama.
6:29 Central African Time. Good morning, loves. How are you doing today? How are you feeling today? I am feeling good. I'm trying to kickstart the healthier habit. Yesterday, I got the reality check that my trip is 6 weeks away. And my body is not 6 weeks away. No, he's also laughing at me like, bro, the body does not look 6 weeks away, my darling. But of course, we have to prepare for warmer days. I mean, we're literally 3 weeks away from September, and we know that it's spring. We want to wear our sundresses, but right now we're looking like big bags, hey, and we need to fix it. And the fact that warmer days are on the horizon, it's the perfect time for us to start shaping the healthy, strong body that we want to enjoy this summer. Let's get some tips on how to do this, how to get a six-pack in 3 days. Joining us on the line is Kudzanai Nyoni, who is a fitness instructor. Kudzanai, good morning. Good morning. All right, we will do our best to get him back on the line. But even to those, it was so funny yesterday. The reason why I was like, okay, now I need to run. When you get to the gym and start getting on the treadmill quickly, yeah, that's what needs to happen. Is the fact that when I calculated, I was like, okay, this trip is happening beginning of October. What like how many weeks do we have until then? And it's plus minus about 6 weeks if you don't count next week. So if you start counting from about the 20th, then yeah, we don't have time. We have to make sure that our bodies are bodying by then, because of course you want to feel healthy, you want to feel fresh, you want to feel like you have the energy to be able to enjoy the holiday. You also don't want any limitations, because sometimes for different activities you have to be a certain weight, a certain height, to be able to participate. But Kudzanai is going to help us. Kudzanai, welcome back.
Welcome. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. How's your morning?
I mean, look, I'm here humbling myself before you, saying, how do I get a six-pack in a week? We know that September's around the corner, the summer days are around the corner, and we're just trying to figure out how to kickstart our fitness journey so we can get the body of our dreams.
I'll be very honest with you. It's not as easy as that. It takes a lot of discipline and consistency for you to have a six-pack in 3 days. You see, so there's only one thing that makes you go up the scale and down the scale, which is food. Meaning to say, if you trace your calories, you can be able to drop down your fat component. And then if you eat your calories going up, it's actually hard for you to get to that six-pack impact. So discipline comes in when you know what to eat, when to eat, so that you avoid yourself from getting excess body fat. So if you do your diet properly, low calorie, meaning you stay away from sugars, carbohydrates, you push yourself vitamins and protein, and you also have a good training program, which allows to stress the body in a physical manner so that you can develop and shape the body in the way you desire and visualize yourself in the head.
But I think we also have to admit that this is a very mental thing, hey? I think if it was an easy journey to start, a lot of people would have started it a long time ago. How do you also get your mind ready to exercise? I mean, that level of consistency requires mental strength before it requires the physical strength. So talk to us about that. How do we get our minds geared, to kind of getting our body right?
Okay, so in those cases where you feel like it's you need to go like out of your mental state to go physical, I suggest you need someone who motivates you, like a personal trainer, good coach, someone who can then push you the first few steps of the journey, so that you get out of the mental state in more physical capacity, so that it helps you in recovering and having the best boost in energy and the purpose of why you need to train. So you would realize once you go physical, it'll actually help you with your mental impact. Reason why you will also have better time to sleep. You'll also stay out of your head when you're training, because remember, training is more physical and also partly mental. So it really you really need to get someone who guides you in that process for you to be able to get to that next level.
What are some of the benefits of walking and running? You know, because I know that people who struggle with weight, I think it's one of the ways you can kind of get your full body movement going without spending money. Because I think that's also another misconception about a healthy lifestyle, that it's quite expensive. So what would you recommend with walking? I mean, what are some of the benefits of that?
Walking is actually very good, because remember, walking and running, let's look at their benefits. It's more like they help you with the cardiovascular, whereby you can be able to pump more blood with the, like if you're heavy, you need to exercise, walk or running, so that your heart learns how to pump and deliver blood to the rest of your body. And also it creates endurance and better performance. So I would really recommend walking, like even 45 minutes, an hour, outdoor walking or indoor on a treadmill. It's quite very healthy, because it helps you, cut down on calories. And calories, it actually comes from food. Calories are units of energy that you eat from mainly carbohydrates. So walking, running is actually very on top of the best. And then you also just need to cut down on your calories. It's also cheap, because you're not eating too much.
And where can we get more information about this? Do you have a social media that we can maybe follow and, subscribe to your fitness tips and your dietary tips?
Yeah, I have my Facebook page and my Instagram. It's written Beno Nyoni, which is BENNON with Nyoni at the end. So that's my Facebook and my Instagram account. And most of the people I usually help online through via WhatsApp. We need assistance, yeah.
And what is that WhatsApp line?
My WhatsApp line is +263 77349626. I'll repeat again, +263 777349626.
Kuzana, thank you so much for joining us today, and I'm hoping that next time we speak, you'll be looking for us, because that's how slim we're going to be. You'll be a little bit confused at who you're looking at,
Yeah, I get you. No problem. Thank you for having me as well. I really appreciate it.
Fantastic stuff. It is 6:36 Central African time. What are your hacks? Like, what is that hack where you know for a fact, here, I will lose weight quickly? For me, it was walking. I remember 1 month of walking literally made me drop like 9 kgs. Like, I was really, really adamant. I was also doing like 12 kilometers a day. So yeah, back then obviously things weren't as hectic in my life as now. Now you have to kind of like squeeze it in your schedule somehow. It is 6:37 Central African time. Let me know about your weight loss hacks on WhatsApp +2763 406 9126.
Wake up with Oasis. Are you fluent in French, Chinyanja, Portuguese, and Kiswahili? Are you passionate about radio? And are you looking to work in South Africa? Do you have papers that qualify you to work in South Africa? In that case, we might have an opportunity for you to work for Channel Africa. Send us your CV and demo at newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Remember, if you don't hear from us within 14 days, it means you have not made it or you have not been selected. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
This is the story of a young Kalanga girl whose mother had died, and then she was left under the care of her father. So one day her father fell so sick, and he asked her to go to the Domboshava Hills to look for a healer. She went to the Domboshava Hills. Under a big rock in the cave, she found a creature with the face of a man and the body of a large snake. The girl began to sing a song, and the creature followed her to the compound. At the compound, the creature licked the wounds of the old man, and the old man was healed. The old man then said to the creature, "I have nothing to give you for what you have done for me, but you shall marry my daughter." The old man arranged a lobola feast for his daughter and the creature. The creature then transformed into a handsome young man, and the two were married.
Love music, love culture, love life. Then you will love Channel Africa.
Kodi wanyonga ndiye uti osakumana ndi mikwingwirima njira yomwe onse amoyo ayesedwa kulimba mtima zochititsa mantha ena zilimbitsa mtima ena tifanana ndi kusiyana muzotipangitsa kulira timalira muntima mong'ung'udza ndimo dandaula ululu ukasefukira timalira nsomwankuwe kulira kulibe mulingo chambweteka ndiye hayamba sikuona nkobe kulira mai maso ndiye mboni tonse timalira zikawawa tikakumudwa zikalemera zikachuluka mutu ukakula usale wankonya mayo timalira zikawawa tikakumudwa zikalemera zikachuluka mutu ukakula usale wankonya mayo timalira muntima timalira mongakana ndimisonzi nayo imakala ikulakatika timalira muntima ayo ayo
saizi ndimaliza ndikakumbuka ndizowawa zimeenda zona nemoyo moyo ndichochube basi
mtima ulinayo misonzi yosaoneka yongotera mkati ndi misonzi yosapuputika amayo weitsambalanga wala mudzu wagwerera mumpepo kukongola kwako kosiriritsa kulikunja ulira nkati weitsambalanga lira mumpepo asazindikire dziko likonda olimba mtima mwananga tonse timalira zikawawa zikakumudwa zikalemera zikachuluka mutu ukakula usale wankonya mayo timalira zikawawa zikakumudwa zikalemera zikachuluka mutu ukakula usale wankonya mayo timalira muntima timalira mongakana ndimisonzi nayo imakala ikulakatika
6:46 the Central African Time. Smooth sounds coming from Ndingo Joa coming through with Nkabaile. Before that was Lawi with Timalira, all African jams. So beautiful music that is being made in Africa. Really stand 10 toes down on that one. Thank you for choosing the Oasis to be the reason why you wake up in a good mood today. How are you feeling? How was your Saturday? Sela was laughing at me when she was like, did you go out yesterday? I'm like, no, actually, I was at home. I only went for a breakfast after work and then went straight home, took a nap, woke up, ate, slept again. That's literally all I did. I don't know. There's some moments where you just want to be at home, man. You just want to be, away from the mess, away from the streets. You want to take time to yourself. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the time. To be honest, low-key, my Sunday is looking exactly the same. And also trying to prepare for the week ahead, which is going to be a blessed week. It's going to be a fruitful week. It's going to be a game-changing week. You're going to get that email. And if you're in a position where you're about to send that email that's going to change someone's life, stop delaying. Send it. When you get into the office on Monday, type that email and say, congratulations, Sbanbani. You have been selected for, best human on the planet. If you know that you're sending a congratulations, we are pleased to inform, we like to congratulate you on the following. If you are writing those emails this week, please do it with quickness. You have no idea. Some people are probably on the edge of life because they haven't received that email. And your laziness and procrastination now is making us think that nothing is coming. Come on, get on your Zoom. Type that email, type that message. You know very well that you're meant to be doing it, so do it urgently. You would want it to be done urgently if it was you, right? Exactly. There's so many people right now struggling with their mental health, struggling with, seeing the positives of life, seeing that, there's going to be progress, whereas you're literally sitting on their breakthrough. So I say make it the top of your list. Do it on Monday. Start someone's week off with a blessing, knowing very well they're receiving the congratulatory email. You know how beautiful it is as a human being to receive that? How beautiful. This week, there are some people that are going to be collecting cars, waking up to go to the dealership. Hey, some people are collecting keys to new homes. Some people are opening their businesses this week. That's what's happening this week. That's what I'm prophesying this week. I don't want bad news anymore. I think we've dealt enough of bad news this year. I want us to be happy, man. I want us to be whole. I want us to have good things that we're looking forward to. A lot of people are losing their lives due to, unaliving themselves because they feel like there's no hope. They feel like, my life is just going to be like this, a never-ending cycle of disappointment. And that's what you're probably feeling today. But I'm saying I already spoke to the people that need to send you that email, okay? I'll make sure that they send you that email, that congratulations email, that we are pleased to inform you. This week is their pleased to inform. You will be pleased. You'll be very pleased. People are very pleased to inform you of the good news that you deserve, man. It's time. You want to receive that breakthrough just before the spring. It's time. It really is time. And I'm praying that, when you receive it, it feels like the relief that you've been hoping for and waiting for. It is 6:50 Central African time. We're just a few minutes before we head to the top of the hour. And we're going to come back and have a nice chat about us as young people, how we are kickstarting our futures. I mean, it's also very important to nurture the lives of young people. And young people right now need a little bit of mentorship to get through certain parts. I think you never actually stop needing a mentor, if I'm being very honest. I don't think you ever get to a point where you're like, okay, I don't need a mentor, I've got this life thing. The moment you feel like you got something, then something else happens. But that's just life, right? But we're going to be talking about that and how to kind of navigate that. We're going to be speaking about why it's important to mentor young professionals. So you do want to stick around for that. That's all coming up in the second hour of the show. Later on, we're going to be talking about the Wellness Collective Summit for 2025 and speak about how it's going to empower women across the board. And we can't wait for those things. But for now, we've got some jams are on the way to kickstart your morning. Let me know if there's a specific song that you want to dedicate on WhatsApp +2763 406 9126.
Get the news, music, and lifestyle of Africa on Channel Africa, the African perspective.
What if God didn't? What if I had never been blessed beyond limits? What if I was always depressed and not living? What if Squatter Campus Khalin was unwritten and all I ever had to reflect was Bob Dylan? Josiah just decided to rest and not finish. Sia wasn't up to the test and not winning. Shabalala said in his head he can't hit it, but for it, it's all relative-ish. What if Tyler just decided to wait? What if Keenan couldn't stomach the hate? What if Booger Love had never been saved and still in love with the game? It's all you fade. What if Eminem had stuck with the 9 to 5? If Chester wasn't playing in 95? If Philemon, my singer, was called offside and Doctor was injured, would you have ever seen Barker fly? And Brenda Fussy wasn't obsessed with show business, and all the Winnie wanted was checks and more children. And Costa said, you niggas correct, we not women. Jabba didn't fuck on your vest, they can't siblings and son. I stand steady on business and everything that I've done. I can't imagine my diva not being a prodigal son. I left Komani with vision and now I'm back as a young. What if mama, indoya kuthi where would I be now? Ngaphandle kwakho wemntaka mama, indoya kuthi where would I be now? Ngaphandle kwakho. What if I was young and ginger and not chief? What if I was never prepared to love me? What if I was thinking of death and not peace? Cold heart living with fear and can't breathe. What if I didn't move with the north side? If I had a problem being cool with a horse ride? I couldn't do what we all like if I never knew Ngulungu na Matoswam. And all our time was it missed me. I'm focused on my daughters and my son and they miss me. If Zuma wasn't part of the big three, if Solomon Matango had quick feet, if Tito ain't decided to give me a gift, you gotta think about it. What if everybody tried to forgive? If I had not inspired a generation of writers to celebrate Amalanga Bafuit. Mama, and where would I be now?
Love music, love culture, love life. Then you will love Channel Africa.
Don't even know. Don't even know. Don't even know. Something about you. Circling down, don't even know. Looking for someone to get me out the door. You got me dumbfounded. Need a bit more than telling me how we gon' be affected. Oh, there's something about the way you make me feel. Something about the way you make me new. Something about the way that we could be messing us up. Nearly got me waiting outside. You got me going. I don't even know your last name, but you got me like. See, I don't even know your last name, but you got me like. You better go sign a waiver. I'ma violate you and then more. Telling me how we gon' bang bang and get the ring more. Doing less talking. So many try to get inside my feels, but nobody got it, but better sign that deal. Really got me sticking around. Maybe there's something about you, something about the way you make me feel. Something about the way you made me kneel. Something about the way that we could be messing us up. Yeah, they got me waiting outside. You got me going.
It's Nikita Caring with last name. Is someone trying to take or drop your last name today? I forgot to actually mention that some people are also going to be getting engaged this week. I have a really good feeling about one of my friends getting engaged. I'm not going to lie. I'm calling it. It's going to happen this weekend or it's going to happen sometime next week. But I just have a very strong feeling about that. You ever get that sometimes where you're like, nah, something is going to happen here. But if that's happening for you, then I am so happy for you. Like whatever beautiful thing you're experiencing, whatever new beginning you're experiencing, may you nurture it, may you take care of it, may it be kind to you. I'm hoping that you'll be at your happiest that you've ever been. I'm hoping that for you, because right now we need a little bit of happiness, we need a little bit of joy, something that's going to keep us going. And I'm hoping that maybe you're the one who just needs that motivation this week. What's happening on social media? Do you ever fear that the tweets from like years ago are ever going to come back? Well, it happened for our sports minister and it's one of my biggest fears as well, but I don't remember tweeting anything bad. I just remember saying very funny jokes, but like very, very cute jokes, because obviously I was young. So but do we think we should hold people accountable for the tweets that they did over 10 years ago? I don't know. I don't think that's particularly fair. I mean, we were all different people. Heck, you were a different person last year at this time. Imagine 10 years ago. And Twitter then versus now is very different. I mean, for the fact that you were tweeting when it was still Twitter and not X, how? We're trying to solve for X here. When are you bringing up tweets from long ago? I don't know if we should be held accountable for things like that. I don't know. I could be an empath about this, but maybe he tweeted them and he was in a crazy spot in his life. Maybe he was vengeful. Maybe he was sad. Maybe he was going through something. But whatever the case is, I'm just hoping. I'm wondering what the repercussions are going to be for those tweets, because they were quite bad, man. They were not that fun. Do you ever think you want to go back and delete your tweets? You want to just redo your tweets? You just want to make sure that your Twitter is in good standing? I wonder if they can actually do that. For me, I've always contemplated deleting that app, because, to be honest, it's become such a negative space. Hey, it's become such a horrible space. People are no longer as kind as they used to be. They're not as nice as they used to be. So I'm hoping that maybe one day it's gonna go back to its niceness. We're just a few seconds away from heading to the news. We're gonna find out what's happening in and around the world. It never stops, man. This world is too big. So many things are happening at the same time. I wonder if one day we're actually just gonna have no bad news. I wonder. If we're just all going to wake up one day and everything is just simply perfect. But I guess that won't be the circle of life. It is 7 a.m. Central African time. It's time for news.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Your headlines: over 24,000 people have gone missing in Nigeria since 2015, and the foreign ministers of 5 countries rejected Israel's decision to launch an additional large-scale operation in Gaza. Good morning, I'm Nusipo Zuma. The International Committee of Red Cross, ICRC, says over 24,000 people have gone missing in Nigeria since 2015. Many people in the country are calling on the government to tackle insecurity and ensure the missing people are found. Tezim Akende reports.
The ICRC in the report says more than half of the total cases were children at the time they went missing. According to ICRC's Regional Director for Africa, the missing persons are predominantly from Nigeria's northeastern states of Borno in Nigeria. The President Bola Tinubu-led government has directed security agencies in the country to identify and secure the release of missing persons and ensure they are reunited with their families. Tessim Akende, SABC News, Jos.
The South African government has confirmed the summoning Eswatini's High Commissioner to South Africa, Dumisile Sukati, to seek clarity on the deal the kingdom entered into with the U.S. This relates to America's deportation of 5 criminals of various nationalities to Eswatini. South Africa has raised concerns about the deportation of the 5 who are reported to be dangerous criminals. International Relations Minister Ronald Lamola says the issue borders on national security.
To engage on this issue, to understand the contents of the agreement, what is it about, and what will be its impact to this agreement visa regime that we have with Eswatini and other very good neighborly relations that we have with Eswatini as our very good sisterly country. The proximity makes this a security issue. It should be an issue that we are concerned about.
South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa says the country's laws and policies must be biased towards improving the lives of women. Ramaphosa was speaking at the commemoration of National Women's Day held in the Limpopo province yesterday. He pledged 40% of public procurement for owned or women-owned businesses, training for women entrepreneurs, and greater market access through the African Continental Free Trade Area. The president has urged South Africans to build a resilient economies for all and ensure no woman is left behind, especially those in rural areas, those living with disabilities, or those in the LGBTQI+ community.
When you uplift a woman, you are essentially uplifting the whole nation. Women always make sure that when they are empowered, they ensure that they empower their families. They are the ones who lift the livelihoods of their families, and by so doing, also lift the life of the nation.
A Rwandan man who was arrested in Norway for crimes he allegedly committed during the East African nation's 1994 genocide has been repatriated. Francois Hassana, who was a student during the genocide in which more than 1 million were massacred, was arrested in Norway in 2022. In March, Norwegian police announced that he would be sent back to Rwanda after a court said conditions for his extradition had been met. Now, finally, the foreign ministers of Britain, Australia, Italy, Germany and New Zealand have said they strongly reject the Israeli government's decision to launch an additional large-scale operation in Gaza. On Thursday, Israel's Security Cabinet approved a plan to expand the war against Hamas, focusing on taking full control of Gaza City. The BBC's Emer Nada has more details.
The foreign ministers strongly reject Israel's plan to take over Gaza City, which would forcibly displace 1 million Palestinians, saying it risks violating international humanitarian law. The reaction of Palestinian groups has been more strident, with a number calling Israel's plan part of an attempt to ethnically cleanse Palestinians from Gaza. Hamas said Benjamin Netanyahu doesn't care about negotiations or the hostages, and said it would fiercely resist the Israeli military. Yesterday, Israeli ministers stood firm in the face of criticism, saying condemnation wouldn't force them to change course.
A recap of your top story. The International Committee of the Red Cross, ICRC, says over 24,000 people have gone missing in Nigeria since 2015. Many people in the country are calling on the government to tackle insecurity and ensure the missing people are found. Now, for any news stories you would like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa News, I'm Nusipho Zuma.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Minutes past 7 a.m. Good morning. Thank you for choosing the Oasis on Channel Africa to wake up this morning, and particularly because, you know, we've got to bring it back to us. Thank you for choosing me to wake you up. So maybe if you woke up alone, you can always say you woke up with me. You know, you can tell people that, you know, they can think whatever they want to think, but you can tell them that, and then they'll ask, hey, where did you find her? Then you say on Channel Africa. That's how I woke up today. I have a question for you. What if it took to change a course of a young person's life, just one conversation? What if one conversation was a thing that could change someone's life? I know that millions of youth have skills and ambition to succeed, but lack the access to network and opportunities that can open doors. Umuzi's 123 mentorship drive offers a simple way for professionals to help bridge that gap by sharing their time, experience, and connections in just 2 short conversations that can lead to life-changing action. We're going to be speaking to Fiona Tabraham, who is the executive director of the Experience Lab at Umuzi, and we're going to unpack it a little bit further, because it is very important that we put young people at the forefront of mentorship and guidance. You know, they have all the hunger, they have the education, they have the drive, but for some reason they're just not accessing the people that they need to access to be successful. And we need to make sure that we are helping our young people achieve their goals and dreams. There's no way on God's green earth that we can just allow young people to die like that with their dreams. We can't, guys. We remember when we had dreams and now we're fulfilling them. Can't we do the same for our young people? It's only fair that we do that. It is 8 minutes past 7 a.m. I hope you're doing well today. Let me know on WhatsApp +27634069126, and I'm hoping that you're having a wonderful morning so far. Let me know what your plans are for today on @ChannelAfrica1. Also, there's a poll on our X or Twitter about fitness, so you might want to go and participate on that poll and give us your opinions. I'm going to read it closer to the end of the show to see what you guys are thinking about. So head over to @ChannelAfrica1 on our Twitter to participate in that poll. But for now, we've got some great music and great conversations after these.
From 6 till 9 a.m. Central African Time on Channel Africa, the African perspective. Gender-based violence is destroying lives and tearing communities apart. It happens in homes, in schools, at workplaces, and too often in silence. But it doesn't have to continue. If you see it, speak out. If you are hurting, reach out. Because doing nothing is not an option. Listen to all 19 SABC radio stations from Wednesday 23rd of July for hard talk, discussions, advice, dramas, educational shows, and interviews around GBV with experts, survivors, lawmakers, and the whole country affected by gender-based violence. For all your favorite SABC radio stations, call 0800 428 428 to report abuse or get help. GBV, it ends with you. This message is brought to you by the SABC. Wake up with the Oasis.
namo no wazawe yona beni to yamishu ya mumio yona beni to yamishala na papa we mulen mato bongo yotmalati ya mumio no wazawe yona beni to yaminolo ya mumio Mijala, tu n'as pas parlé, mon aime ma bongo, je te malade, mais à mon mio. Mijala, tu n'as pas parlé, mon aime ma bongo, je te malade, mais à mon mio.
Of Africa, the pulse of the continent. This is Channel Africa, the African perspective. Ahoy, matey!
Captain here to help, right, boys?
Set sail with us on a digital voyage like no other. Channel Africa has a treasure trove of awesomeness. That is our website and social media pages.
Tell me, why are you here?
We want you to be part of our adventure.
The winds are changing, Captain. And this time,
imagine a world where curiosity knows no bounds, where entertainment meets enlightenment, and where every click leads to the African perspective. Visit us on our website, www.channelafrica.co.za, or follow us on Instagram or on X at Channel Africa 1. Go on, like us on Facebook at Channel Africa 1. So, spread the word. Tell a friend that Channel Africa's online variety is what they need on the web. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Dolango ya pembara muna muto na mwandewa Ngenge wa miwende nae na we mitenge yetiba na mwande wa obasa wanongola nie Mwande baba miso bongo na tolino Dolango ya pembara muna muto na mwandewa
It is a 7:20 Central African time. We are talking about improving the lives of young people through skills, ambition, and mentorship. There is a mentorship drive called Umuzi's 123 Mentorship Drive. I love that it's counting. It's building on the fact that we are working towards your next steps in life. And to unpack this a little bit further is Fiona Tebraham, who is the executive director of the Experience Lab at Umuzi. Fiona, good morning.
Good morning.
I almost called you Princess Fiona, but I mean, you're probably the princess of mentorship,
I love it. I'm the princess of the young people in this country because I think they're phenomenal.
Clark, honey. So talk to us about this. I mean, it's a beautiful drive, Umuzi's 123 Mentorship Drive. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, Look, we often overcomplicate mentorship and we think that it's something that is difficult to do and very time consuming and you have to be an expert yourself to mentor young people. But I've been thinking a lot about, the coach that invited the kid on the sideline to come and play the game, the CEO that sat down in front of the group of young professionals and spoke to them and inspired them, or the teacher in a classroom that really helped a young person see some beauty in numbers. And Mentorship 123 is born out of that concept that you don't have to be a guru or an expert to really lift a young person up. It's a simple concept to say you can take one mentor who can allocate 2 hours of their time and actually then create 3 actionable insights or things that will make a big change to a young person. And we genuinely believe that there's a heck of a lot of people out there in our lovely, beautiful country, and so many people that want to make a change to people's lives. They just need an avenue to do that. And Mentorship 123 is the avenue that we've built to connect young people to the social capital that they need.
Do you think that that's the biggest problem right now? Is the fact that we have the qualifications, we have the ambition, but we just feel like we're not really connecting with the people that we want to work with? Is that the main problem?
Gosh, it's a complex question. It's a complex problem in this country. It's not as simple as that. But what I do know is that the talent that we have in Africa is phenomenal. We've got amazing young people who are skilled and are coming out of an education system with great certifications and qualifications. What they haven't got is experience, and they haven't got the network that gives them access to jobs. So the Experience Lab that I'm working with is looking at giving people gig-sized microbites of experience, and the Mentorship 123 program is creating those connections. We're reaching out to people that know people within their industry that can say, okay, I can look through your CV, I can help you with that application, I can connect you with somebody that I know that has a job. And we genuinely believe that will have a big impact.
Mm-hmm. And how does it work? Do people come to a specific center, or do they contact you guys? How does that process work now? Even with pairing the young person with the mentor. Talk to us about that, please.
Yeah, it's very important to get that right. Umuzi works in a digital online world. So actually we are location agnostic, which means that we can reach people in all sorts of different locations, and we can go to the source of the need, which means also that mentors can be anywhere in the country or anywhere in the continent. So we have an online application system. So if you go to umuzi.org, you will see a blog, and it'll tell you a little bit more about that, and you can then register your interest there. And within that online form, you give a little bit of detail about what you do and your skills and what you think you have to share. And then we have a number of young people, we call them explorers, that are in the experience lab at the moment, and they will register what it is that they feel is their biggest gap. And we will match then the person that is able to offer something with the young person that is asking for that particular need.
I think with working with young people, feedback is very important, especially from the mentors, because then it kind of guides organizations like yourselves on what products and services to kind of put out there, right? What are some of the things that you receive from the mentors about the young people that, are kind of supporting what you guys are doing? What feedback are you receiving?
Yeah, so the feedback we hear mostly from the opportunities, when you're trying to put a young person into an opportunity, what a lot of people are saying is that young people, though they may have the skills, they are not necessarily prepared for the world of work. So the things that we encourage our explorers to practice are the skills in communication, the skills in critical evaluation, the skills in being able to ask a question in the right way and gain the answer, or to put their hand up and say, I don't know, I don't have the information, and please can you help me and support me in that? And they're not necessarily technical skills, but they're skills that we don't always get to practice, especially when an education system that doesn't encourage debate, it doesn't encourage communication and skills where you are debating and evaluating and working out what's coming next. And a lot of our young people need to build confidence in that. They need to build confidence in having conversations with people in higher authority that are informed conversations and confident conversations. They need to build their self-awareness and also their self-belief. And if you get them into conversation right, this is where somebody can walk away with actually a belief in themselves and say, I can do this, and I deserve to be here, and I can bring the skill that I've got to the table and be valuable.
As you're speaking, I can't help but ask myself the question, so what's happening in the high schools then? Because, the things that you're speaking about, self-esteem, self-belief, self-worth, confidence, these were things that we were taught in grade 8. So what is actually happening in our high schools? For the fact that young people are lacking all of these things, I think I'm just a little bit concerned about what we're actually teaching them in schools. If the case is that we still have to teach them the likes of self-belief, where's the gap between the two?
I think the gap really sits in the quality of the education that you've been able to access. I'm no doubt there's a lot of schools doing a lot of amazing things in this space, but if you haven't had the access to a school that is going to provide you with an education that builds that self-belief and that confidence, if you are in an overcrowded school, if you haven't had the funds to access a higher education system, even the throughput on our higher education system, if you happen to go to a higher education institute, only 24% of our young people in South Africa are actually graduating from that institute. So there's a whole lot of challenges that not just happen in the school, but happen also within the social network and the social capital of our young people. If you come from a community that does not have a number of professional peers or people that are earning a steady income, if your friends and your networks around you are not accessing jobs, you lose that network of people that you can lean on to help you and to guide you through the first steps of your career. It's a very valuable thing. I was very lucky to grow up with a network of uncles and people and friends that you could say, hey, what do I do in this situation? Or I'm going to this interview and how should I behave? But many of our young people don't have access to that.
So what qualifies me as a mentor? Let's say, someone's got a little extra 2 hours in their week or in their day to give to young people. What qualifies a person to be a mentor?
So the first thing is, just to reiterate, you don't have to be a guru. You just have to be passionate about young people. You have to have some experience within the professional world and have something that you can give back. And you have to have a belief in reaching out and bringing other people forward with you. Now, predominantly at Umuzi, we're working with digital tech talents, so people from a technical background would be highly valuable to young people because they can unpick and share more information about the technical world or the IT industry. But we're also looking for people that come from any professional backgrounds. If you've been a team leader or a manager, if you can help people understand what the world of work looks like. If you are somebody who's very active in the community or a social leader, you're able to help people unpick the professional and personal skills that they need. If you're somebody that comes from an HR background, for example, you're able to help someone with an application or help them with their CV. If you're an executive, you're able to describe what the world of work looks like and actually what you need to be successful in that world of work. So I think that there's a huge range of people that can add all sorts of help and skills. But I think, again, our young people need others that they can speak to from different backgrounds and different communities, and they can extend their knowledge and extend their access to other areas. And so anybody is welcome to come and be a mentor in the 123 scheme. I think that everybody who wants to help young people can add value.
Amazing stuff. Where can we find you guys? It sounds like you've got a good system going here, and I would love to collaborate. Where can we find you, either on social media, your website, and the works?
Absolutely. So definitely you'll find Umuzi on social media, and you will also find us at umuzi.org. And at that website, you will find a blog that talks specifically about the Mentorship 123 scheme, and you'll be able to apply through that. So yes, we would love to hear from you. And again, more advocates for young people, the more people that stop talking about our youth as unemployed or unemployable, and the more young people people or mentors that spread the message that young people are talents, that they are amazing, that they are the future of this amazing continent, the better.
Amazing stuff. Thank you so much, Princess Fiona, for leading this amazing initiative. And I'm really hoping that young people understand that with that passion alone, they can be in rooms that they never thought they could be in. And establishing amazing relationships with their mentors could mean a lifetime of opportunities. So I really appreciate the work that you guys are doing.
Fantastic. And I'm very grateful and thankful for you for supporting people and also for giving us this platform to share what we do.
Fantastic stuff. That was Fiona Abraham, who's Executive Director of the Experience Lab at Umuzi. And we're talking mentorship, and they have an amazing program that is linking young people and mentors to assist them with giving feedback on their CVs, helping them with interview preparation, making an introduction, networking, really some of the skills that, we kind of lose ourselves or lose opportunities with some of the littlest things. And they're making sure that they are helping us. It is a 7:31 Central African time. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about the role that women play in society, and also it's important for us to elevate that. How do we support women in whatever role that they're playing? But we're going to have these conversations. Also, some music in between all of it. So let me know if you want to listen to a particular jammy jam at Channel Africa 1 or on WhatsApp +276 406 9126.
Get Channel Africa on DSTV Audio Bouquet. Channel 802.
Miniamba tunga malambelo Saba miniamba sabanya konolelo wo Saba miniamba Miniamba tunga
7:35 Central African time. Welcome back to it. We don't need men. We don't need men. This is a phrase that usually comes from a traumatized woman. And it comes from her because she was let down by men that she cared about. And we are trying to repair the relationship that we have created, right, with men. I think we've gotten to a point where our hyper-independence is not from a place of wanting to do better for ourselves, but it's from a trauma place. It's from a place of not being able to rely on anyone. Your hyper-independence is because, the person that you were supposed to depend on let you down, which led us to say things like, we don't need men. And the truth of the matter is, we do. We do. We need each other. The roles that we play in our lives, we need each other. And it's so important for us to cultivate and facilitate healthier relationships. But that doesn't mean that, we need to stop saying we don't need men. It just means that the men need to step up. But how do we do that? And we always speak about how a father's role in a child's life, is very, very important. And Heartlines, which is the social change organization behind the Fathers Matter campaign, is flipping the script on common misconceptions that focus on a father's somehow sidelines the role of a woman. So we're talking about how to mirror each other's roles and how to play our roles properly in our society. Joining us is the Fathers Matter lead at Heartlines, Uzamabonga Mujalefa, to talk to us a little bit more about how we can carry each other and lift each other up without letting each other down. Zamabonga, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. And I feel like I'm going to say Happy Women's Day every single day this month. I'm allowed to do that. So Happy Women's Day to you.
Happy Women's Day and Happy Women's Month to you.
So I think Women's Day, Women's Month brings up a lot of the issues that we in society don't necessarily speak about fairly, right? We've coined a lot of terms that can be very problematic, seeing that we're also raising a generation of men, the likes of we don't need men, men are this, men are that. And I think, I don't want to say rightfully so, but I think the constant disappointment and letdown from men has led us to thinking like this. What is the role of men and women in society, and how do we create that balance and healthy relationship between the two counterparts?
Definitely from our side, it's important that men and women play their role in children's lives, because at the end of the day, our campaign is not about men, it's not about women, but it's about the child. It's about how we show up for the child as parents, as social fathers and social mothers. It's very important that we always bring a balance in the child's life. And also, we do recognize the hurt that has happened to women. We always say in our campaign, some women are double wounded. So you're not only experiencing a wound from the father that has left your child or is not constantly and dependently in a child's life, but you're also wounded from your own personal experience with your father or your social fathers in your life. So we want to make sure that women become enablers and not barriers to a relationship with the child. And this is very simply, allowing umalume, the uncle, allowing the grandfather to step in where the father has not been there and has been absent. It's very important that we realize that it's not only the biological father that needs to play a role, but communities' fathers need to step in and bring about that balance. And it's important that we as society enable these men that want to be actively, positively present in a child's life to play their part and to be there and not to be barriers to that.
I find it very interesting, though. There's something that's playing out. I remember 3 years ago, Times Magazine released an article about women and the fact that women will always be advocates for society. Because again, why are we as women having a conversation about the role of men in our lives? Why are they not holding themselves accountable to the spaces and the gaps that they have created between us? And I find that very interesting, that it's almost like women are the gatekeepers of relationships between the father and the child, or uncles and child, whereas when are the men actually stepping up and taking that initiative to be in the child's life? Why do we always find ourselves kind of being the advocates for other people's lack of accountability?
That definitely comes from this myth that we've created of women as a rock, women as imbogodo. And for me, it's always been a myth, because women do have this, like everyone else, a need to be taken care of, a need to also have a shared burden. It can't all be on your shoulders. So this is a misconception that society has placed upon women. And I think in South Africa, a lot more of this has happened because of our historic past, where women had to bear the burden because of our history, and because of this myth of, in ancient Africa, women bore most of the responsibility and so forth, whereas it was always a shared responsibility. So now when we come into this age, I think definitely with Fathers Matter, we are definitely seeing men show up. We are seeing men taking responsibility. And that's why our plea is for women to enable the ones that are positively present, the ones that are actively present, to actually show up. And some of the barriers that we have encountered in why men don't show up have been because they don't have the skill. Most of them do not have the skill. And most people are like, I know, but this sounds like they're just incompetent. Why can't they just be like women? Women were never taught. Women just had to show up. It's also because in our society, men have been blocked from learning these skills, and we as Heartlines have created lots of resources. We've created training materials so that the men that do want to show up, the men that do want to be present in children's lives, and for those women that are carrying the burden of child rearing, we want to make sure that they have the skills. We want to make sure that they have the knowledge of how they are expected to show up. So there is a tussle that's currently happening in our society where men are definitely trying to show up. And in some cases, we have women that are actually saying, yeah, but you're not showing up the way I want you to show up. You're not showing up as much as I would like you to show up, and not realizing that there is this vulnerability that men are meeting, this block that men are meeting where they don't have the skill, they don't have the knowledge, and sometimes our society does block them from having access.
I want to look, I agree with the idea that there are men and good men out there who want to be involved, but I don't want for us to misconstrue weaponized incompetence, because they know that women know how to pick up the slack. They know how to, kind of clean up the mess, clean up the crises, and therefore it's easy for them to not show up because they know that the woman got it anyway. It's kind of like leaving the bowl in the sink, because you know that your sister's going to come and wash the dishes and she's going to wash all of them. You have the ability to do that, but you just choose not to because you're dependent on a woman's competence. And my concern now is that and there's a lot of phrases that happen on social media, and I can imagine how difficult it is for you as an organization to speak positively about men when on social media all we hear is how trashy they are and how terrible they are based on real life experiences. In what ways are we enabling that? Because we also have to be accountable for the ways that even with our sons, our brothers, our partners, significant others, our friends, how do we enable the weaponized incompetence of men? And because I feel like it feeds into their lack of accountability.
Mm-hmm. Let me give you a small scenario. We have a support tool for men on WhatsApp. It's called the WhatsApp Coach. And in WhatsApp Coach, we have actually a case study of a young man that is a new father. He's been with Coach for almost 8 months now, since the birth of his child. And in that 8 months, he has made contact with WhatsApp Coach 850 times, asking things like, how do I do this? How do I change a nappy? How do I make sure that the child really burps? How do I know that he's really burping? And for a father who really wants to be actively involved, to be asking those questions continuously, to be asking, how do I make sure that they're sleeping right? Are they sleeping? What is happening? And that means in that father's space, there is something that is preventing him from actually asking those questions to the people around him. I am not saying that maybe there are people that are blocking him or there are barriers, but I'm just saying that we in society have made it hard for men to ask and continually ask. I would also say that these men have never had the role model that they can say, oh, okay, my uncle did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because like you said previously, we just have men that don't show up. We have men that don't fulfill their role. So therefore, this man who is contacting WhatsApp Coach is not finding a role model, someone that he can call and say at 3 a.m., hey, daughter, this is what is happening in my life. This is what's happening with me and the child. They might have a role model in everything else in their life, but not around child caregiving. They're not having someone that can really step into the space for them and say, yeah, you can do this. And this incompetence that you speak about most of the time is basically because women are tired. Women are tired of being asked, how do I make the bottle? Because you've been asked 3 times, you've been asked 4 times, and you just go, I know, leave it, I'm going to do it myself. How many times has that happened in almost every woman's life? I speak from experience. Sometimes when my husband, when our kids were very small, when he would ask me things, I'd be like, my guy, but I showed you so many times, and he would stop asking. And I think for a lot of men, this weaponized incompetence is sometimes that whole idea of, okay, I give up. She wants to do it herself. Ugogo wants to do it herself. She's not allowing me to take my part. So this is why we decided to create this tool, because it's a help in their pocket. They can go and be vulnerable. They can talk about their mental health issues when the woman is going through postpartum depression. They can talk about their own postpartum issues that they're facing, because no one gives them that space. And I don't want it to come across like I'm being apologetic for men. We're not being apologetic, but we're speaking the realities of what we are seeing and the conversations we are having with men.
And I don't think you being apologetic. I think you're being empathetic, because we are also raising a generation of men, so they can't walk into the world thinking we hate them. You know, it's as much as we do speak about their dads or their uncles, I mean, they're still teenage boys who are hearing so many negative things being said about men, and it's easy to engulf yourself into that category of, you know what, they think I'm trash, so I might as well be. You know, and I believe that, you know, the organization, based on what you're doing as well, I wanted to comment on the WhatsApp channel that you've created. I think it's quite brilliant, considering the fact that men are naturally very embarrassed to go and ask for help, right? It plays on their ego and their masculinity. So the fact that all they have to do is text, it's something that, you know, it's not out of the ordinary of what they normally do. Please share where we can find the WhatsApp channel, some of the initiatives that you have going on, and how we can support as well.
To connect to WhatsApp Coach, it's important to first understand the why. It's important for men to understand why they're important in children's lives. So we do encourage people to go on our website, which is www.fathersmatter.org.za. please go on the site. Not only will you be connected to WhatsApp Coach, but you'll also be connected to resources that can assist you in your trying to enable this man to come into the lives. And for us, it's important that it is positive, present men in children's lives. So if you know that this is someone that has been neglectful, it's someone that has not been dependable to be there when they need to be there, please don't do that to the child. But also it's important that we make sure that positively present fathers have, and men have a space that they can go to. So on fathersmatter.org.za, you will not only get the coach, but you'll also get access to our 7 films. The 7 films go with discussion guides. A lot of times we find that women don't know how to start up a discussion. And the minute you start a discussion, it's seen as an attack. Like, oh, you're attacking me. You're saying that I'm not showing up. So those films act as a mirror onto the world. It acts as a mirror to the person, to their relationship. We have films about when the child is just born and just the women acting as, gatekeepers to access in the hospital, access to the child, access because the men cannot provide. We have films around the lobola process and how difficult, not having a present father, and all of a sudden the man's family wants to come and you don't have someone to show up for you. There's an actual conversation about that. There's a conversation around co-parenting and the importance of communication in co-parenting. And our most recent one is around dads and play. And in that film, one of the sentences that is said by the wife is, I did not ask you to guard the child, but I asked you to play with him. And how many of us are like, okay, keep the child. And it's like, yeah, I'm babysitting. I'm like, you're not babysitting. It's your child. Don't babysit. But actually play with the child and be involved in your child's life. So that's the 7 films that we have. And we are more than excited to share them. They are for free. All Heartlines resources are for free. And we also have teams on the ground that can come and have these discussions, have the dialogue. We have a women's resource on why it is important that women are engaged in this conversation of why fathers matter. So we try to make sure that all these resources are available. People like me are available to the community so that we can come through and talk to you, to your ECD centers, to your workplace, and so forth. That is us as Heartlines Fathers Matter.
Amazing stuff. Thank you so much for joining us and for pioneering the next generation of men. We're hoping that they just get it, the same way women just get it. I hope they just get it, but through all of this coaching. So I'm going to look forward to what this next gen is going to do with the information you've given us.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. And please join Coach. You must also join Coach. Women can do so also.
100%. Thank you so much, Zama, and we look forward to engaging you in the future.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye. It's Zamabongo Mujalifa, who is the Fathers Matter lead at Heartlines. It is an NPO that focuses on instilling positive social change in society. It is 7:54 Central African time. And one of the things that is very exciting is of the fact that the SABC is pleased to announce the launch of the new self-registration platform. Vendors wishing to do business with the SABC can self-register on our internally developed platform. Vendors are able to access this platform on our website www.sabc.co.za/SABC under e-tenders or self-register at etender.sabc.co.za and follow the prompts. Visit SABC social media pages for more details.
Start your mornings with inspirational stories.
kuti ukararama ndokutanga bagwiri kuti ukararama wani bagwiri kuti ukararama vakatanga bagwiri kuti ukararama kuti ukararama vakatanga bagwiri kuti ukararama vakakupfumamira muhondo ndokukupfumamira pahondo vakatanga bagwiri kuti ukararama vakatanga bagwiri kuti ukararama
Gender-based violence is destroying lives and tearing communities apart. It happens in homes, in schools, at workplaces, and too often in silence. But it doesn't have to continue. If you see it, speak out. If you are hurting, reach out. Because doing nothing is not an option. Listen to all 19 SABC radio stations from Wednesday 23rd of July for hard talk, discussions, advice, dramas, educational shows, and interviews around GBV with experts, survivors, lawmakers, and the whole country affected by gender-based violence. For all your favorite SABC radio stations, call 0800 428 428 to report abuse or get help. GBV, it ends with you. This message is brought to you by the SABC.
7:59 Central African time. When you're having fun, for some reason, time seems to fly by. I was like, girl, can we get like 3 more interviews? Dang. For now, it's 8 a.m. Central African time. It's time for news.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Your headlines: over 24,000 people have gone missing in Nigeria since 2015, and Britain will deport foreign criminals as soon as they are convicted. Good morning, I'm Nusipo Zuma. The International Committee of the Red Cross, ICRC, says over 24,000 people have gone missing in Nigeria since 2015. Many people in the country are calling on the government to tackle insecurity and ensure the missing people are found. Tezim Akande reports.
The ICRC in the report says more than half of the total cases were children at the time they went missing. According to ICRC's Regional Director for Africa, the missing persons are predominantly from Nigeria's northeastern states of Borno in Nigeria, The President Bola Tinubu-led government has directed security agencies in the country to identify and secure the release of missing persons and ensure they are reunited with their families. Tassim Akendi, SABC News, Jos.
The South African Social Security Agency, SASSA, has urged South Africans to truthfully disclose all sources of income when applying for social grants. SASSA continues to review processes for social grant beneficiaries suspected of having additional sources of income and not disclosing it to the agency. Over 200,000 SASSA beneficiaries faced delays in their June grant payments due to income irregularities. SASSA spokesperson Baseka Letsatsi says they've initiated a review to ensure continued eligibility and prevent misuse of funds.
We have basically gone on a campaign as an organization. We have been publicizing it for the past 3 months, just to make sure that people are aware in terms of their responsibility. And in this case, people are responsible to make sure that when you come to make an application at the SASSA office, they become honest, they disclose everything to us. It is giving us positive results. And I think now people understand what we are trying to achieve. It is the responsibility of a beneficiary to make sure that if their situation in terms of employment or otherwise changes, they need to inform us.
South Africa's President Ramaphosa says the country's laws and policies must be biased towards improving the lives of women. Ramaphosa was speaking at the commemoration of National Women's Day held in the Limpopo province yesterday. He pledged 40% of public procurement for women-owned businesses, training for women entrepreneurs and greater market access through the African Continental Free Trade Area. The President has urged South Africans to build resilient economies for all and ensure no woman is left behind, especially those in rural areas, those living with disabilities, or those in the LGBTQI+ community.
When you uplift a woman, you are essentially uplifting the whole nation. Women always make sure that when they are empowered, they ensure that they empower their families. They are the ones who lift the livelihoods of their families, and by so doing, also lift the life of the nation.
A Rwandan man who was arrested in Norway for crimes he allegedly committed during the East African nation's 1994 genocide has been repatriated. Francois Kasana, who was a student during the genocide in which more than 1 million were massacred, was arrested in Norway in 2022. In March, Norwegian police announced that he would be sent back to Rwanda after a court said conditions for his extradition had been met. And finally, foreign criminals in Britain will face immediate deportation as soon as they are convicted on the new plans announced by the Justice Minister. Shabana Mohammed said the deportation plan would save taxpayers $70,000 a year per prisoner. The BBC's Helen Kett has more details.
Convicted foreign criminals can currently be deported after serving half their sentence. The government has already made a change to the law, which is expected to come into force from September, to allow deportation for those who've served 30% of their time. Now the Justice Secretary says she's planning a further change to allow offenders to be deported on being handed a custodial sentence and those already in prison to be deported immediately. Parliament will need to approve the legislation to do it. Terrorists, murderers and others serving life sentences will have to serve their full sentence.
A recap of your top story. The International Committee of the Red Cross, ICRC, says over 24,000 people have gone missing in Nigeria since 2015. Many people in the country are calling on the government to tackle insecurity and ensure the missing people are found. Now, for any news stories you would like to share with us, please send an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa News, I'm Nusipo Suma.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
at 5 in the morning. I wake up to 5 for my yearnings.
It is 6 minutes after 8 a.m. Central African time. Usually I'd be telling you that the sun is flirting with us, but we are in a beautiful new studios. I made a joke the other day that I feel like a broadcaster here. Like, I don't feel like a presenter. I feel like a broadcaster. There's a very big difference between a presenter and a broadcaster. I feel like here I'm about to report news about Chris Hani, for example, or Mama Weenie. You know, I feel like these were the studios where they used to do them. And I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the space. It's always nice to have something new. I think a nice new environment gives us a little bit of motivation. You know, there's like a psychological part of it. But yesterday we celebrated a Women's Day, a National Women's Day. We commemorated amazing women. There were a lot of events. One of my favorite things that happen on Women's Day are the events. You know, people put in a lot of work and effort, and we're just so girly. I like being a girl because everything is just pink and fluffy and sweet, and you know, we have all these cocktails and we just laugh together and we just have all these experiences. Being a girl is so fun. I've never enjoyed being a girl like I have this year, and I think it comes with wellness. You know, when you start taking care of yourself, you start to enjoy being a girl and taking care of who you are. One of the events that took place is the Wellness Collective Summit for 2025, hosted by Women Can at the Pier House in Johannesburg. It brought together 250 healthcare experts, business leaders, and policymakers to tackle one pressing issue: how to protect public health through science-led harm reduction strategies. The discussion explored ways to reduce the dangers linked to tobacco use, alcohol abuse, lifestyle diseases, and the social pressures that worsen poor health outcomes. Experts called for practical and evidence-based solutions that have informed choices about their well-being. I can't wait for this conversation because when we speak about women's health, it also speaks about the fact that we have 4 phases as women. There's a luteal phase, a follicular phase, the ovulation phase, and there's one more. It just slipped my mind, but I promise I'll remember. And we go through these phases, and our bodies and our hormones change so regularly. So we can't, it's my cheat weekend. Are you really coinciding with the hormones that are, changing at the moment? There's that 1 week where you're at your prettiest, which is the follicular phase. You're your prettiest, you are your most active, you are set up all your meetings, are using that week to eat healthier, to boost yourself. And then there's a luteal phase where I would suggest everyone runs. Luteal phase, you kind of have to take things a little bit slowly. And imagine, with all these phases, we're still killing the game. We are still killing it. Being a woman is amazing, man. It's tiring, it's exhausting, but it's amazing for the most part. But we're going to speak about this. I mean, how can we change our skincare products, healthier food options? How do we take action against substance abuse? How do we become better people? We're going to be speaking to Ubuhle Binta, who is the head of scientific engagement for Sub-Saharan Africa at Philip Morris International. And I'm glad it's a woman heading up this department who is also taking charge of women's health. 8:10 Central African time. If there's a little jammy jam you want to hear on the show, let me know on WhatsApp +27634069126, and also at Channel Africa 1 is where we are. Make sure that you stay tuned. And again, thank you for choosing a Channel Africa. Thank you for choosing the Oasis to wake up to. It's the most important time of the day, kickstarting the day, setting your intentions. So I'm hoping you can brag about the fact that you woke up with the woman today. It is 8:10 Central African time.
Rejuvenate your mind, rejuvenate your soul with Oasis.
This August, we celebrate the strength, brilliance, and unstoppable spirit of African women.
It was the women themselves who strove for and got the changes by lobbying, going through NGOs, and by networking.
That's you, ladies. From the boardroom to the classroom, from the marketplace to the microphone, women are leading, innovating, and transforming our continent every day.
Here's to knowing that as a woman, your voice can change the world.
Your voice matters. Your story inspires. Your presence is powerful. This Women's Month, we honor you. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
unzima ubomi ungalahli ithemba abantu bohleka maungahluleka unzima ubomi ungalahli ithemba abantu bohleka maungahluleka maungaphelele endleleni wena ungafele emadelweni abantu bohleka maungahluleka maungaphelele endleleni wena ungafele emadelweni abantu bohleka maungahluleka Nkosi noma ngihlupheka lapha emhlabeni anginanda Nkosi mhlawumbe ngiyobusa ezulwini mangifika lapho Nkosi noma ngilambile lapha emhlabeni anginanda Nkosi mhlawumbe ngiyosukutha ezulwini mangifika lapho ngishiya ngithembile laluphumuleka ngishiya ngithembile uma uyakhumbula sisibhale emehlweni sisumvasheleye angeke ngizempike lo mhlaba unzima kodwa ngiyobusa nje ezulwini mangifika lapho maungaphelele endleleni wena ungafele emadelweni abantu bohleka maungahluleka maungaphelele endleleni wena ungafele emadelweni abantu bohleka
Sungalahli lothemba njalo Sungaphela umoya mjakaba noma ngizima wena diyabalaza bazofika vela banamanga bethi ithemba likho ngoba sebalala vele impilo inzima nami ngiyazi sikhule ngakho phela ukuzabalaza siphila impilo yamahashahasha zange sami iphupho thanda ukushabalala manje ngithi beka ithemba lakho kumdala noma kunzima kanjani noma kuthanda kuba mnyama kuzokhanya ungalinge nje uphele namandla vele konke sikwenzayo sikwenzela abantu bazohleka mawuhluleka manje mina lami lithi phoko phela mntaka baba umdalo uyophendula nyazi
abantu bohleka maungahluleka maungaphelele endleleni wena ungafele emadelweni abantu bohleka maungahluleka
8:15 Central African Time. It's Jewel M with Ubomi. He's teaming up with Zakwe to give us a really cool Afro pop R&B, a reminder about life. Ubomi means life. Yes, Xhosa. Xhosa is a South African language spoken by, I think, 6.4 million people, since my numbers last corrected me. If I'm wrong, then I think it's an opportunity for you to just research and do some more and find out what languages are being spoken across Africa. It's beautiful that we get to communicate in all shapes and forms and sounds and clicks and nuances. We're going to get into a conversation now. There's, and I've said this before and I will continuously say it. The moment I pronounce a woman's name and then her title has head or executive, there's something that happens in my soul. Something is revived. I just feel so safe and comfortable. I mean, love. It's love at first sight. We're going to be chatting about some of the decisions that are being made, the strategies that are being made to protect the public health through science-led harm reduction strategies. This conversation was held with healthcare experts, business leaders, and policymakers at the Wellness Collective Summit of 2025. Joining us is Buhle Binta, who is the head of scientific engagement for Sub-Saharan Africa at the Philip Morris International. Buhle, good morning.
Good morning, Tako. How are you doing?
I'm excellent. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Good morning to your listeners as well.
So before we started the conversation, I mentioned how women have 4 different phases, right? It's the luteal, the follicle phase, the ovulation phase. The other one slipped my mind completely. But all these phases happen concurrently, right? And we just keep changing our hormones, and our bodies are never really the same as they were a week ago. And but why is it important to take a science-based approach now when we're addressing our public health challenges?
Thanks, Zako, for sharing that, actually. So, when we speak about science, and we believe, and this is how it should be, science should inform policies, right? Having a science-based approach when addressing public health challenges ensures that whatever interventions are put into place are guided by reliable evidence rather than assumptions or stigma. So it enables, public health authorities that we have, like our Department of Health, our other public health entities, to identify risks accurately, design targeted strategies, and evaluate the effectiveness for the broader public health population. So looking at an individual, so myself and yourself as an individual, but also the community around us. So that's key. And I'll make examples where science has informed policies and has been recognized, and has those countries have seen a change. So if you just look, for example, I work for Philip Morris International, which is a tobacco company, and what we see in terms of countries, developed countries, nations such as New Zealand or UK, they actually utilize the science behind these nicotine-containing products, tobacco-containing products, to inform their health policies, recognizing that evidence is there that shows that these products are less harmful. So they then incorporate and have differential policies. So policies that are based on risk, policies that recognize that most harmful products should be treated accordingly, and those that are less harmful on the other side of the risk spectrum should be then embraced, and have their population being encouraged to switch to those. And this is where then we have the concept of harm reduction coming in. But let's engage further, and I'll explain as we go along.
What's so interesting, as you were speaking, I don't know, for some reason what came into my mind is there's this thing, when you just living your life, there's events that take place, and there's certain experiences that we have, you can kind of tell when women are involved. You can you just have a knack for it. You can kind of be like, yeah, no, a woman is definitely involved here because she thought about every single aspect of this product or service that you're experiencing. But when we talk about harm reduction, when you spoke about, tobacco, for example, there's alcohol as well. There's just the general lifestyle of a woman. How are these strategies now implemented? How do we apply them to the likes of tobacco use, alcohol abuse, because we also don't want to go the banning route. We're not in COVID times where we can just ban these things, but how do we now incorporate? How do we get the women involved in that product?
Yeah. So and I like that you're speaking on women, you're touching on this, right? Globally, there's 1 billion smokers, and the WHO, which is the World Health Organization, has reported this. And in South Africa, the Medical Research Council, South African Medical Research Council, which is a public entity, actually took out stats and said that we have over 11 million smokers. Now, this is males and females. And then if you zone it down, they actually said that just about 11% of that number is women. So we're speaking about just above 1.2 million smokers, million female smokers, right, or women smokers, if I could put it like that. So it's a reality. Women do indulge in smoking. And also, I won't touch on the stats for the alcohol industry, but I think we do know that women drink. They drink all sorts of different types of alcohol because it's a lifestyle thing, and people drink or smoke for different reasons. It depends on you as an individual. But what we need to work on is removing the stigma around utilizing or consuming these products. So, and this is where harm reduction comes in. And just to give a clear and easier example of what harm reduction is. If you remember, not in our lifetime, actually, not so many years ago, we had the HIV epidemic in South Africa, pandemic epidemic in South Africa. And the government came out and said that they recognize that people will continue to partake in risky behavior. So they cannot fully stop. But what they can encourage people to do is that should you engage in sexual activity, then utilize a condom. So this is the concept of harm reduction. You can apply it also in the case of skincare. One of the things that was a topic there at the wellness event was skincare. I myself like going out into the sun. I enjoy being in the sun, but when I go out in the sun, to reduce the impact of the sun on my skin, I will have my hat on, I'll have on my sunglasses or mazazawam, I'll have on my sunscreen. It's not to say that I wouldn't be fully harmed by the sun, so sun's rays on my skin, but there's a reduction in the harm. And this again then can be applied in the space of tobacco and alcohol. Specifically for tobacco, for women smokers, we've got scientifically proven less harmful alternatives. So these are your heated tobacco products, your e-cigarettes or your nicotine pouches, products that have been, undergone rigorous scientific assessments by public health bodies around the world, such as your Food and Drug Administration, and they've come out to say that these products, specifically for heated tobacco, is appropriate for the protection of public health. So for a regulator to come out and make that statement, I think it's a big thing. And this then removes the stigma of smoking to say that if someone would rather continue smoking, rather than smoking a cigarette, which is the most harmful because it releases thousands of chemicals in the smoke, and 100 of those have been linked to smoking-related diseases, rather use something that's been proven to be less harmful, less chemicals, and some of them even eliminated, So that is what is key here, and this is where tobacco harm reduction comes in.
I find it interesting, though, as you were speaking, and this is why it's important for women to be involved, because we experience a lot of no's. We're constantly being told to not do certain things and to avoid a lot of things, but we're never really told what to do, right? It's never supplemented. So we live in a world of restriction. It's almost like, you're not allowed to do anything. I think even the social stigma of women smoking is a completely different conversation on its own. I was reminded by this campaign that's been happening about HPV, and people being, urged, and women being urged to test for it, prevent HPV from taking place. And again, we're talking about, you need to do this and you need to just shove it in the corner. You guys need to live according to the regulations, but there's no, leeway. There's no grace given to women. We're constantly told not to do something and what not to do. And I want to kind of talk about the mental health aspect of this, because when we talk about these different strategies that are being implicated, can you imagine the exhaustion that's happening with us women now? Yet again, there is something else that is going to affect us. So not only do we have these 4 phases that exist in our menstrual cycle and where our hormones change, but now we need to test for all these diseases, and now this is not healthy for us. So how do we also protect the mental health of the receivers while we're experiencing these different strategies?
Yes, so you touched on something, Ntsako, which I just want to clarify also on our previous question. Bans don't work. You spoke about COVID, you touched on COVID, bans don't work. What we saw during COVID is we know that there was banning of alcohol, we know there was banning of cigarettes or tobacco-containing products, but people were able to get access to these products. And I think what's sad is that what we've seen now, before the COVID ban, we had an illicit trade percentage of 35%. But post that, the repercussions was that, because it was the longest ban I think that we had in South Africa, illicit trade sits at 75%. So you're sitting with the market now being dominated by illicit players, and now you don't know what people are consuming, you don't know what it is that they're utilizing, and these are products that are not taxed. So it's something needs to be done. But I think we need to take a lesson from that and know that prohibitions or restrictions don't work. And you need to have policies in place that are actually saying that they're based on risk, they're based on evidence, and that is key. So to touch on mental health, right? People with mental health conditions, and it's different mental health conditions, your depression, your anxiety, so many different ones, may use substances, right? And we know this, they may use them to make them feel better. Some of them, it could be called a form of self-medication, but what's key is that when someone uses these substances, we should not stigmatize people. So if we're talking in the case again of science-based harm reduction, you need to have early intervention, you need to have integrated treatments for those with mental health illnesses, but you need to understand that stigmatizing people does not in any way assist them. So the best thing to do then is embrace harm reduction in this case and say that, okay, we see where you are. Let's meet the person where they're at, the individual where they're at, understand why they're consuming what they're consuming. Could be alcohol, it could be tobacco, it could be drugs, because harm reduction also exists in the space of drugs. But what is key is that meet the patient or the person where they're at, understand what are the causal factors for them to take up the products that they're using, whether it's stress management or social or environmental factors, and then from there work with them to then suggest an intervention. And it does not always have to go via a doctor. It could be other healthcare providers. It could be if someone, for example, is a drug user, they should then go to harm reduction clinic, meet could be a social worker, it could be a psychologist, it could be a psychiatrist, someone who can walk that journey with them. If you know that you're smoking and you know the reasons for smoking, again, rather than using or consuming nicotine, because they smoke because nicotine, has an impact on their body, it enhances their mood or whatever it is. There's different reasons for smoking. But again, rather than using the most harmful, utilize, let's put in place harm reduction, understand why it is that you're consuming the product, and then in that case, again, be willing to switch to something that's less harmful to your overall health as an individual.
Which I'm looking forward to the future of science if you are sitting at the table. And I'm really hoping that women like you are seated at the table because, I think our future and our health is in the right hands, if that's the case. I really enjoyed engaging with you, and anything to look forward to, maybe some products, some services, some alternatives that we can foresee in the near future?
Thank you so much. It's like I thank you for having me here and to have these conversations. Again, I think that it's important for us as women to take charge of our well-being, and our wellness as well. To recognize again that stigma doesn't help. To embrace wellness as a woman, to support other women, strengthen other women. In terms of, for the company that I work for, like I said, it is Philip Morris International, and we've actually committed to a smoke-free future, and a smoke-free future is a future without cigarettes. So a future where people who choose to continue smoking then would rather use less harmful alternatives, and the products that are there for them then are your heated tobacco products or your e-cigarettes or your nicotine pouches would still give them satisfaction, but in a less harmful manner. And these are scientifically proven, and I think that's what's key for me. So looking forward to having more of these conversations about the science behind these products, the science behind the policies that have been put in place, behind these products, and policies that have been put in place by different governments and so forth that recognize harm reduction as well. So it's good to have these conversations. It's good to have debates centered around these conversations as well. So you get to hear different sides of the stories. But I think, again, thinking about the public health of the population as the end goal, I think that's very important.
Amazing stuff. Thank you so much for joining us today, and have a beautiful and blessed Sunday.
Thank you. Same to you, Nzako. Have a lovely one, and same to your listeners as well. Thank you.
Thank you. That was Buhle Binta, who's the head of scientific engagement for Sub-Saharan Africa at Philip Morris International. Women. African women. That's all I'm going to say. I don't need to say anything else. Just women.
Download the SABC app and take Channel Africa with you everywhere you go.
Você é fluente em português? É apaixonado por rádio e quer trabalhar na África do Sul? Você tem documentos que o qualificam para trabalhar na África do Sul? Nesse caso, podemos ter uma oportunidade para você trabalhar no Canal África. Envie seu currículo e demonstração para Canal África at newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Lembre-se, se você não receber alguma resposta nossa em 14 dias, isso significa que você não foi selecionado. Canal África, a perspectiva africana.
Ease into your weekend morning. It's the Oasis with Nthako Muhlanga. Only on Channel Africa.
Monongolo yama, comme yo piesi, monongolo yama. Selele, monongolo yama. Selele, monongolo yama. Ijoma te chono ti, monongolo yama. Ijoma ne de courage ti, monongolo yama. Selele.
.35 Central African time. It's Sanzi Vianney with Nguliam coming through there. So a jammy jam. It's giving us that nice Afro-pop groove, Nyana, you know? Makes you feel like you're on an island with a coconut in your hand. All the way in East Africa. Welcome back to the show. We've got about 25 minutes, if my math serves me correctly, before we hand over the crown to Buleng. She's going to give us some tech news. But you know what's interesting? So when you are in the world of business, you have to look at the science behind it. And that's why I enjoyed the conversation with Ubuhle, because there's a science to everything, right? If you want something sold, get a woman to do it. If you want to sell something, like if you have a really good product or service, and it's a product or service that is not the easiest to sell, get a woman to do it. I'll tell you why. Because you get women like Usino. You get women who are selling over 174 cars in their first year of work. Right? You get women who are doing remarkable things in the automotive industry. You know how tough it is right now financially for the whole world. Everyone is just nitpicking, pocket watching. But you have people who are like, no. You are going to buy this and I'm going to make you buy this. I'm talking about Usino Ilunga here, who is doing the absolute most. We are talking to her because we just want to show her appreciation. We just want to shine a spotlight on her and say, girl, not only are you selling cars, but you are driving us crazy with these numbers. She is a financial manager to one of the country's top national sales. In fact, right now, she's one of the top national sales executives, and she's holding a national diploma in accounting from University of Johannesburg and an advanced diploma in business from Mancosa, and she graduated cum laude, and she's doing some excellent work. She even earned her first ever CEO National Award for Trailblazers in Sales in 2024. She is thriving in a male-dominated space. We love it for you, Queen. And guess what? She joins us on the line. I'm not even going to put my seatbelt on, honey. I'm going to let you take this one. Sino, good morning.
Morning, Taco. How are you?
I am great, honey. I'm as great as the cars you sell. How are you?
We're about to sell more. I'm kidding.
Period. Look, you're going to sell one to me. You're going to sell one to me. I'm convinced.
That was a very strong introduction. Thanks, Taco.
It belongs to a strong woman with strong abilities. And I want us to talk about that. I mean, the world of sales is so difficult now. I mean, you're communicating value. You're not selling ice to Eskimos anymore. You're really having to tell people to make some drastic financial decisions. How are you doing this?
So I always say that, and if you take a look at the stats and numbers, like it has grown so much. And I want to first say shout out to all the women that have such a good financial backing for themselves, that have worked hard to be able to go into a space and afford cars. I think when you take a look at it from back in the days, when cars used to be sold, we'd be like, yeah, it was a signer, and then you go in and then you get yourself into this financial struggle and you don't know how to afford your car. It just becomes a whole issue on its own. So it's very easy to take the customer from, so how I do it is take the customer from the budgeting perspective. So to say to them, listen, how much are you earning? Okay, how much can you afford for the car? What can I get you into that you can still get a car but be affordable in your month-to-month strategy? So that's how I've been working with a lot of my clients, is literally telling them from get-go, like, listen, get something that you know in 6 months' time you're not going to regret in terms of your buying decisions and power.
And did you ever doubt yourself? I mean, it's quite a transition. I mean, coming from the finance background, you guys are usually the pocket watchers, and then now in sales, where you're telling them, okay, stop looking at your pockets, just pay attention to your new life. What is that transition like for you?
So when I transitioned from being a financial manager into sales, it was a decision that was predetermined even from the beginning, from 2 years before even starting. When I moved, I already had known that I was either going to go in and kill it, or like I was going to go in and kill it. There was no other option for me but to make sure that I go in and serve what I was supposed to have served, because in that journey, I went in with a purpose. I went in to understand exactly what is happening within the market, how the market is changing, and what kind of platform can I curate for the market to make it easier for them. In the many years, a lot of women have been undermined in terms of being able to sell and being able to know things about cars. So for me, I was like, okay, let me get in and show something. I wanted to get in and just take my feminine side and my passion and my energy for cars and put it into a space where I can be able to showcase it to everybody else that it is possible. And during that space in time, I went in with a vision, because I am curating currently a digital platform in the motoring space that will make it so seamless for consumers themselves to be able to get their cars without the hassle, which has been happening throughout many times in our market.
And I was actually about to ask you about it's Hook Me Up, right? .co.za. How exactly does it work? I mean, how did the idea come to you? Yeah.
So how the idea came to life is about 2 years ago, I've already known that, not even more than 2 years ago, I've already known that the market's way of buying has changed, right? I think we know back in the days when you would walk into a dealership, you get somebody that's going to help you in terms of showing you the car, test driving the car, you do the application, and then, you get nervous as a customer, you sit there like, am I going to get approved? Am I going to get declined? And then if you get approved, you obviously go through the process and then you just sign the documents and you move on. But the pure fact is most customers end up forgetting what they've signed, and that's the other end of the journey that we're going to try and create and say, listen, as a customer, we're going to give you the information bare hand so that you can have the knowledge. So what's happening in today's market is that you get consumer A who would go from one the next dealer to the next dealer to the next dealer, trying to get the best possible deal that they can get. But it's to the end of your buying journey. You're so tired and so uninterested and so unexcited about your journey that it's so stressful. So Hook Me Up today is trying to bring in excitement and life and the simplest, most 24-hour basis type of period where you can get your car in the most efficient possible way with bare knowledge.
And now I just wanted to get into the aspect of sales now, because also you're doing the same thing with your site, right? We have the boomer generation, we have the millennials, we have the Gen Z, Gen Alpha, right? Between those different generations, how are they navigating? What are some of the buying decisions and behaviors that you've picked up about each generation?
So when you take a look at it from the baby boomer age, I would say, let me just pick it down for the market that is between the ages of like 50s and 60s right now. I think they're sitting between 47 to 60. That age group is slightly a bit different from how we purchasing cars. With them, they're still going with the decision like, listen, I want this Range Rover. I'm going to get this Range Rover. I don't want any other options. It is what I want. And that's it. Doesn't matter when it comes to the pricing or whatever the case is. But when it comes to millennials and Gen Zs, they need that detail. They want to see every single aspect of the deal. So they want to be shown information upfront. So the minute you don't show them the information upfront, they get nervous to buy because something is fishy. They want to have a trustable place. So that's where we come in and say, listen, we're going to give you the trust from the beginning up until the end, because there's still people out there who are just saying, come and sign the deal and life goes on. It's not the case anymore in 2025. We want knowledge as millennials and Gen Zs. So it's completely different buying.
And who have you had the most success with then? In that 174 cars, I'm sure those numbers are probably peaking now. But, who are you selling to the most? Who's the easy buyer? Even with all those challenges, who's the one that's buying the most?
Female.
Aha. Gosh. Yazine. I knew. I was just asking for confirmation.
About a brand, it's female. Female, even statistically, if you Google it, even on Google AI or ChatGPT, and you check which South Africa, what is the gender that's mostly buying a lot of the cars in South Africa, it will stipulate between over 65 to 75% of the market is actually female buyers, which means that they do have the power. And shout out to them, because they do work hard. Like a lot of them have, really great jobs and doing their own businesses. There's a lot of buyers who are also owning their own businesses in the factor. So that's where is that the truth is that most of them are female buyers.
Why am I not surprised that our girlies just keep killing it and killing it and killing it? So what are some of the goals then? 2025, I think, was an interesting year financially for a lot of people. Some people did extremely well. Some people opened their businesses this year. So, the remaining few months, I know that there's certain months that are peaks for you guys. I'm not really sure when they are, but I'm sure you can enlighten me on that. But what is coming up in the next couple of months? What can you expect, especially leading up to the festive season?
Yes, so with our platform, we're pretty new. Hook Me Up is a pretty new platform. I've been testing it when I was in sales for an entire year for myself. Right now, what I'm trying to achieve is trying to build it so that by the time the summer season actually picks up, we are at the peak of the season. So what this platform is really about is about connecting markets together, right? Connecting the consumer to their car and beyond. Okay. entire process. So the peak seasons are very important, especially in the motoring space, because Maui Kaya, like I've seen it last year, a lot of people who are going home, they want to go home and show off something. And that's the beauty about cars, is that it brings happiness and joy to everyone. Because you've worked so hard, you want to go home Uye Kaya. Because I'm from Eastern Cape, for example, I've had clients who are from Eastern Cape, KZN, who want their cars because they want to go home and actually have something to show Maui Kaya and have happiness and joy. That's the exact transformation we're trying to achieve on this ground, is that we need to take that joy from the beginning up until the end. The festive season and the summer season is the best time for vehicle sales within now.
Where can we find you, girl? Where
Especially with the interest rates drop.
Yes. Now we're sitting at like, so what, 7%? Yeah.
Right now the interest rate is sitting at about 11.25 if I'm not mistaken. It had just dropped from I think a few weeks ago, not really sure, by 0.25 basis point, which is really amazing, because now it gives the buyer more excitement to actually go and get their car quite quicker because of the rate. So you can find me mostly on TikTok. I am always active on TikTok and also on LinkedIn. So Sino Ilunga on TikTok and Sinolo to Brenda Ilunga on LinkedIn. Those are my two strongest profiles.
Sina, super proud of you. We love the fact that you're the one that is opening literally doors for women to purchase new cars, and we look forward to it. You know, I might just stumble in the dealership. I might just to tiptoe something, yeah. Thank you so much for your time today.
Happy to help you anytime, Zako.
Thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate speaking to women like you, and all the best.
Thank you so much, Zako. Have a good one.
Amazing stuff. That was Asino Ilunga, and we were profiling her on her amazing sales achievements. The fact that she is just killing the game in a male-dominated space, driving us crazy. Yes, she does sell cars, and she's literally exceeding some people's sales targets. In fact, teams' sales targets. She's doing it one man. Amazing stuff. It is at 8:48 Central African time. Actually, wait a minute. Why did I say she's doing it one man? She's doing it one woman. Yo, you see how patriarchy just quickly slides into the conversation? It is 8:48. Let's enjoy some music.
Find the latest Oasis podcast on www.channelafrica.co.za.
Adafo, adafo, adafo,
Let the weekend unfold with calm, clarity, and connection. On the Oasis with Ntsako Muhlanga, your peaceful companion. Only on Channel Africa.
This next song comes from Tanzania. It's a song in Swahili and Douala I really love. Song which simply says, Malaika, I've told you I'm Malaika. And the same means I love you, baby. Oh, whatever will be so good. Wamona deliver. They want to be born, I need titi. We you them. Whatever I told you, no malaika.
feel like there's like multiple renditions of this amazing song. It is a Tom Jones with Malika coming through there. It is 8:57 Central African time. And time flies when you're having fun, and it happens to be the time where I have to hand over my crown to Puleng and the team to usher us into a techie world, into the tech world. I always love learning new things about tech on our show, so it's always a good time. I wanted to thank the amazing team we have, the streamers that make me look good, and make sure good see at least my good side is shining. Must always wear some extra Vaseline so that your complexion can really come out. I wanted to thank Choo Catherine Malika on the technical. She just gets it. It's always a beautiful morning. And my pilot, Nombuyiselo. It's always a good time with you, girl. You make me talk though. Hey, she books interviews. But I love you blind, my girl. And to the social media team for making whatever happens on air also happen on social media. Thank you guys for being so wonderful, for making me sound great. I hope I did sound great. And to you who made the wise and conscious decision of choosing Channel Africa, I hope you didn't regret it. And we meet again next week, same time, same place, 6 to 9 a.m. for the Oasis with me, Nsako Mhlanga. And it's been absolutely fantastic. This week is going to be the blessed week, the great news week, the breakthrough week, the yes week, the approved week, the we are pleased to inform you, the congratulations week. Next week, Saturday, I want to hear all your voice notes about how it was the best week of your life. But for now, have a beautiful and blessed Sunday. Goodbye.
Wake up with the Oasis.
In this land of an hour, they call us Bahira. In this land of an hour, they call us Bahira. Upiga tela you.
SABC News. The African Perspective.